Um, Good evening, everybody, and good afternoon, and welcome to this Cameroon American organized immigration clinic. I'm glad to see you guys here, and I'm also glad to welcome our attorneys, the Cameroon attorneys here in Houston, in town, to educate us, answer our question, and participate in the discussion. So, without taking too much time, I just want to call on Lynn to tell us about the safety moment before we pass it over to our attorney.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. Just a few housekeeping items. We do have exit on that side, on this side, and we do have the toilet. If you get out on your right, you have the toilet for male and female. And the main lobby will be on that side. So in any event, anything were to happen, we know how to exit. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to this CAMCOH clinic. I feel quite privileged to be here today, and I'm actually grateful to these guys for making it, a priority to be here. I know it's quite an undertaking for them. I'll start with myself. My name is Joseph Fondlin. I'm an attorney in town. I've been in Houston for about 6 or 7 years. I practice downtown. I practice mostly corporate, but pretty much everything else. To my immediate left is Elvis Ayembe. Next to him is Emmanuel Lundu, Mr. James Apple, Mr. Kevin Pacha, and Mr. Innocent Anchang. I'll actually give them a couple of minutes to just kind of talk about themselves. So,
thank you, Joe. Again, my name is Elvis Ayembe. I've been practicing in Houston for about 3 years now, mainly in the area of oil and gas, so domestic and international oil and gas. But like Joe said, you go to law school to learn all the various areas of law, and immigration is something that I've always been passionate about, especially when it involves giving back to my own community, so I'm excited to be here today.
My name is Emmanuel Lundu. I've been practicing law for 8 years now. My background is general corporate. Can't hear me?
No. One of the ways to do that is maybe to stand up.
So my name is Emmanuel Lundu. I've been practicing law for about 8 years now. My background is in general corporate work. So I moved to Houston about 3 years ago, and now I do energy marketing. So not an immigration lawyer, but hopefully the presentation will be helpful to get you to the right attorney to help you get immigration.
My name is James Apple, and I've been practicing law since 1998. Since 1998, I've been doing deportation and crime. And I came here in 1988, and since then I've been in Houston, Texas. So born red, Texas.
My name is Kevin Pacha. Went to law school in England, and here in the United States I have extensive background in immigration and federal taxation. So I consider myself an experienced immigration attorney. Thank you.
My name is Innocent Anchang, and I'm the deputy attorney in the house. So my seat kind of represents where I stand. But I've been in Houston for a long time. Some of them are my younger brothers. Feel free to ask me any questions. I have a law practice, and it's a baby practice. And what I plan to do for our community is be the outreach person. I know a lot of you, and a lot of you don't. If you have any questions about the law, I can do it.
can you please give them a hand for that? Today I'm going to serve as the moderator to kind of facilitate as well as add whatever input I can do to kind of spur the discussion along. If you permit, I'll move on this side. It's easier to work on the slides from up here. The first thing, since we're lawyers, we're going through all this. First thing, everybody knows about lawyers. The first thing we do is what disclaimer. There's a reason for that. A lot of the information we'll be giving you today is general information. Okay, so we're not serving as your lawyer, but hopefully what we'll do is get you the right information so that you can ask the right questions. That is our goal today. What is our goal, and why is CAMCOH? Why did CAMCOH reach out to us to do this? right? If you turn on the TV channel, you turn on any news outlet, there's talk about immigration, right? What is the importance of immigration? It's not only the debate that rages on right now is not only to try to keep people out, right? Part of it is that it will have a profound effect. The people that you let in would have an economic impact, right? They will also have changing demographics. There's a lot of things that would happen, right? For all of us, most of us came from Cameroon or from somewhere else. The first thing you realize is that the decisions that you make vis-a-vis your immigration status or actions from the beginning could profoundly affect you through your stay in this country. It could actually affect your trajectory in this country in terms of how far you go, in terms of the opportunities you allow. So hopefully what we'll do today is allow you to learn one profound thing. Know the rules. If you know the rules, you can opt whether you want to abide by them or not abide by them. But so long as you know the rules that everybody else is playing by or that you're expected to play by, you would actually make an informed decision. Our goal is such that you can make an informed decision. Why? Immigration law is complex, real complex. That's why you have 6 of us trying to figure it out for the rest of you. This is actually a little cartoon that kind of describes how most of you probably feel about immigration, right? It says, it's a guy at a restaurant trying to order, right? One guy with a bunch of orders. It says, I'm not ready to order. My lawyers are still studying the menu, right? That's how a lot of people feel. Immigration law is complex. What hopefully we can do today is break it down to little nuggets that you can digest. You can decipher this menu so that you can be able to make decisions. That is our goal. Hopefully, and as we go through this presentation, I want you to think about what is important to you. How does this affect you? How does this affect your family? And maybe the information that we give you will help you do that. How are we going to do that? We'll kind of go into a general background, which just kind of explains the general immigration process. Next, we'll talk about current non-immigrant status and categories. A lot of people come here as F1 students, so it's temporal. You have an intent not to stay here. One of my other colleagues is going to talk about the immigrant status for people that decide they want to stay long term. Then next, we'll address what if you find yourself, you're a non-immigrant or an immigrant, and you violate those rules? What are the consequences? More important, we'll be able to inform you that it's a 2-pronged issue. One, it's the law. You need to know the law. But more importantly, it's your personal actions or inactions that can tremendously affect what happens to you. We'll address that, and Mr. Epo is going to address that in the deportation plan. Next, we'll talk about new laws and executive orders. Executive orders is pretty much what the president has done today. A lot of you have probably heard in the news that Obama took certain actions last year that have actually changed the application of the law, the current law. Then finally, we'll talk about the new legislation that passed in the Senate that is before Congress right now. How will that law affect all of us? And finally, we'll kind of give you some quick summary tidbits, and then we'll go to question and answers. Please do us a favor, just kind of hold off on the questions till the end. Just write them down. If you want to remain anonymous, it might be better for you. Just write them down, pass them to Manfred, and we'll do our best to answer as many of the questions as possible. Be aware, however, that if your question is very nuanced and very specific, we might not be able to address it for you due to time constraints and because it might kind of creep into the idea of giving you legal advice, right? It's more important if you seek your own counsel. As I mentioned earlier, this is kind of what the immigration process kind of looks like, right? It's kind of a maze when you really think about it, right? A lot of us get visas, we come in as non-immigrants, then you find yourself in this process. It's almost like you get a visa, you kind of get a key, you get into the process. So while you're in this process, what is your objective? For some people, it's to pretty much go back. You go home, that's fine. Other people want to stay. Maybe the objective is to be a resident. Maybe the objective is to be a citizen, right? But there are certain people that find themselves right now in a legal limbo. Maybe they're out of status for whatever reason, maybe they came illegally. You're in this kind of legal limbo. And the consequences of that are that you could end up in deportation. So the question is, how do you navigate this process so that you end up wherever it is that is your goal? And hopefully, we'll be able to address that. So with that, I'll let Mr. Innocent and Chang discuss the non-immigrant status.